Welcome to the Divinely Driven Results Show, where you learn and implement divine strategies for real results in your business. I'm your host, Elise Smith, Christian business strategist. Now, ladies, as you are thinking about the new year coming up, do you have an overcrowded desk of ideas or a huge long list of things that you want to accomplish that maybe you weren't able to this year? Are you secretly upset or frustrated that maybe your financial goal wasn't hit as well as you wanted to for 2022, and you're hoping for something more for 2023? It's so easy to feel those frustrations when we don't get far enough in our business according to our goals and our desires. That is why our incredible guest here today, Deb Drummond, who is a top performance coach, is going to be talking to us about from frustration to from frustration to sensation for 2023. And she's going to help us to reverse engineer our dreams so that we can really help accomplish those for 2023. So Deb, thank you so much for being here on the show today.
Oh my goodness, I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I absolutely loved I just loved that we prayed before that we came on. I've been on and interviewed a lot, and it's so nice to have that quiet time of peace. So I have to tell you, I just really appreciated that and appreciate you.
Of course, absolutely. So I'm just curious, where did this topic come from? Why did you feel like this was the one that you really felt God wanted you to talk about?
Well, you know why? Because I think in the quiet of our minds is where we're honest with ourselves. And sometimes we feel embarrassed or not proud of, or even I'm going to go to the word of ashamed of, or we made goals for ourselves. And we sometimes we know that there's a higher meaning to most things that happen. Silver linings that happen, reasons why we don't get to where we're going to. But we also, we're here, we live here, we have aspirations, we have bills, we have requirements, we have obligations. And I get to deal with people that feel like they can open that up and be transparent and say, like, I am frustrated, like I do have a message, and why is it not being heard? And I think it's an interrelationship. I think we have a relationship with self, and I think we have a relationship with their goals. And the reason why I say from frustration to sensation, because there are some very practical things that we can do to have a better business and have a better relationship with our goals. We're going to talk a little bit about reverse engineering, but I think it's about when you get to be real. I get to be with people that get to be real and go, you know what, I'm upset. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to have big, audacious goals, and them not necessarily be in the same time frame that you hope they've been. And there's things that you can do to make that different, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
That's it. Yeah.
I love the fact that you give us permission to feel what we're feeling, right? I mean, yeah. We don't always look at our bank account or, the people that we're serving and say like, yep, I've made it, I'm good to go. And even if we did, there's always another goalpost that we want to be going after. And so it's okay to feel frustrated with the results that we're getting. But there are so many great tips that I know you're going to share with us here today to be able to help us to move into that sensation from the frustration. But before we get to that, please tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you. I happen to be in beautiful Vancouver, Canada. I have been an entrepreneur as of next year. That will be 31 years being an entrepreneur. Who knew? My expertise is steeped strongly in top performance of entrepreneurship because I've studied extensively in that area, because I've had 7 companies. So, some of it was learned by purpose. Some of it was learned by instant. But I think by nature, I'm just, I'm a mother to 2 incredible children. I'm a grandmother to 2 incredible 2 grandchildren. And I've just, I don't know, I love health and wellness. I love entrepreneurs. My whole company, the people I serve are entrepreneurs because I know that they serve others. So yeah.
Oh, that's me. So powerful. It's neat to be able to hear your story, and I've only heard just like little bits and pieces of it, but I have to tell you, Deb has an incredible story, and she is truly called to what she is doing. And she's just a great example for all of us of how you can make a bigger impact in the world. So, Awesome. Well, Deb, so tell us about this sensation kind of concept, right? Right. From frustration to sensation. Tell us about that.
Okay. So, like I said earlier, I believe I create a safe place for people to be real. Because when we go into networking groups, when we go into events, when we go into this, no matter what's going on, we as entrepreneurs learn to cut that off and go, go and be the beacon, because it doesn't matter what's really going on. You're there in that moment and you need to shine. And we do shine and we do have hope. But then there's that other piece of it. And that other piece is where I get to come in. And as an entrepreneur, you are one. It can be really interesting. I mean, that's the only word I can say. It can be really interesting. So to go from frustration to sensation, really, I say, and it seems like the word is a little bit meek, but it's really about tweaking. The majority of entrepreneurs have read books or maybe been with a coach before or what have you, or do their own internal work or work in a group or part of a mastermind, or maybe they are baby brand new. I have a client coming in today that's baby brand new that goes, I don't want to go through the pain of my colleagues. That's okay too, right? So it's not like they don't know what to do. The majority of people need support in tweaking what they do to have those top performance results. And this is kind of the best way I put at it. If you think of a triangle, you think of, there's water on the bottom, there's milk in the middle, and there's cream on the top. Now, you can, from a milk place, you can go and introduce yourself at a networking event. Hi, I'm Deborah Drummond, and I'm a top performance coach, and I'm so happy to be here with you ladies. I can't wait to that. Or you can come from a cream place. Hi, I'm Deborah Drummond. I'm a top performance trainer, and I'm absolutely here to be that person that gets through your frustration to sensation. And then you can, it's different verbiage, it's different tone, it could be different ask. So it's not like you're not showing up to the meeting. It's not like you're not introducing yourself, but how do you introduce yourself? Do you really know what your avatar needs to hear? First thing I do is I do a really deep avatar dive, which honestly can take 3 to 5 hours. And people are like, I know who my customer is. I know who loves on me. I know. And I'm like, do you know what car they drive? Do you know if they own pets? Do you know if they are originally from the state that they live in? Do you know if they rent or own? Do you know because if you know a deep dive of your avatar, it helps me help you narrow down and change the verbiage that you're saying. Example, I, as you know, am very big on health and wellness and non-chemically based products. Okay, so I was endorsing a beautiful line of skincare. Perfect. And I was opening up countries. So I was plane, train, and automobiling it. This was not an inexpensive venture. Okay, so I did my avatar dive. And instead of going to women's shows, franchise shows, business shows, you know where I went? I went to home shows. I went to shows where people bought stoves and fridges and landscaping. And people are like, what are you doing? Now, by going to those shows and saying what I needed to say, when someone came by my booth, I hit number one in a company, 10 countries, 150,000 people, 5 years in a row. And I'd only ever done 4 posts on Facebook. People like, what are you doing? I know where my people are. I go to them. It's those different things. So you might do a trade show, but is it the right show? So I take what people are doing, we examine it, we make it so undeniably attractive to the people that they want to serve, that want to be served by them. And it's a whole different experience. And so when you can imagine I didn't know I was going to hit number one. I was like shocked. I was shocked. It wasn't my goal. I didn't go, I'm going to be number one in this company every year in a row. I'm going to have the highest volume for this prize and this prize. That wasn't my intention. My intention was to serve and to encourage and empower people to use chemically free products. That's it. And so that was pretty sensational. It went, that's a good frustration to sensation. And so that's what I mean. It can be anything that someone's already doing and we tweak it. And I like to do something and people have heard it many times. They've heard avatar and they kind of think they know what it is. And then they also hear, marketing. I teach an innovative marketing class. So you really understand some new different things you can do with what you're already doing. And the other one is reverse engineer. So at least a lot of people think, oh, reverse engineer, and they hear it. And I'm like, so what does it mean to you? And a lot of times if they're really honest and I create that safe environment, they're like, I don't know, kind of work backwards from my goal. And it is, but it's so much more than that, is strategically taking your goal and placing it backwards into different months and realizing that this step needs to go to this step, this step. And when you reverse engineer, you make a clear path backwards, which gives us a clear path forwards. And it also allows you to say no to things that pop up during that time frame that may take you off course or not align, or add to it. And therefore we add that into that reverse engineering process, or we might change something out, but we have a clear goal of what you want in terms of your time and your income. And then really we can take a look at it and go, is it doable? Like, you want to make 6 figures, but you want to work 5 hours a week. Well, let's have a conversation about that. Is that actually doable? And we'll do the math. And if it's not, then we need to rearrange something, or we need to make it 18 months, or we need to make it 7 hours a week instead of 5. So that's what reverse engineering does.
Yeah. And I love that you bring up the realism part, right? Like, every one of us wants to go from 0 to 100K and more, every single year in our business. But if your pricing isn't aligned and to be able to support that, and if you don't have the time, like you said, or maybe it isn't the 12 months, it's the 18 months, there's ways to be able to create it and co-create that with God. But at the same time, God works within natural laws as well. And that's a result that we can't just expect to be able to go from 0 to 100K overnight. And so I love that. And I like how you were talking about the tweaks as well. Can you give us an example of a tweak that you've seen that your clients have taken to be able to help them achieve their sales goals?
Okay. So for example, and this was one of the gifts that I was going to give. So I do a whole hour on how to properly follow up. Okay. Like, really properly follow up. And so, how did you get to number 1? Well, I didn't just go to the trade show. I didn't just go to the networking group. I didn't just go to the live group. I didn't just go there. You get this wonderful lead, whatever it looks like, business card, email, text, whatever it is. And then you need to have a follow-up system. And I'll tell you something that will change everything in everyone's business. First of all, if someone's giving you information, like if you've met with someone, then they've given you permission, and they probably want you to actually phone them and help them and have a solution. Okay. So I honestly, I created a book on it because it was not driving me crazy, but I didn't have enough time to help everybody. And honestly, it seemed like a simple formula, but people weren't really following it until they had like a workbook in front of them. So when I tell people, and you've heard it before, Elise, the fortune's in the follow-up, right? Well, for most people, that means twice. I mean, they start getting real nervous if they have to call someone 3 times, because what goes on in their head is, I'm bothering them, I'm salesy, I'm just going to be straight up honest. People, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. They didn't get back to you the first time because they were on holiday. They didn't get back to you the second time because, you know what, they were putting a pot roast in the oven. They didn't get back to you, and they will get back to you. But here is the truth, the truth, the truth. And I'm talking about statistics and years of business. The money starts at 5. The money starts at 5. If you are not consistent enough to contact someone at least 5 times, the majority of people will think you're not serious with your business. Now, you could stand there, as sweet as apple pie, selling apple pie. But if you are serious about following up with someone that for your course or your program or your products or your what have you, 5. And here's the magic number. Most sales, like 86% of sales, are done after the 8th to 12th time they've had a point of interest with you, whether that was an email or a text. And I'm not telling 8 emails. This is a tweak. People say, I email people, I this, I that, I'm following up, Deb. And I'm like, every 3rd time you contact someone, it has to be your voice. That alone will change your results. Every 3rd time. So don't send an email and then send a text and hope they saw your Facebook post or you like them on a Facebook. That's 3. Sure. Every 3 times has to be an audio message, has to be a personal call, has to be a voicemail. You actually reach them and you move them along your prospect. My follow-up book, my prospect book that I distribute, it has 14 places for follow-up, because that's what it takes sometimes. So that is a tweak. That's a real tweak for people that get stuck on follow-up. After 80% of people drop off. And then what are you doing? You're always hunting. You're always hunting and you're not harvesting. So hopefully that's a helpful tip for people.
Yeah. And it reminds me of, the difference between persistent and pesky, right? The pesky is a fine line between persistent, because it's all about our motives. It's about how we're focusing on the other person. That persistence is focused on them. Pesky is focused on us. So completely agree. And it's those little tweaks. So how does the audience, if they're listening to this and they, haven't worked with you yet, how do they know what are some of the tweaks that they can make in their business to be able to get that sensational 2023?
Yeah. So this one's a little difficult to do in the short time frame that we have, but examine your verbiage. Really examine your verbiage. And in this short period of time, the tip that I can give you is actually making sure that when you finish off presenting anywhere, and when you go to a networking event online, you're presenting, by the way. So you're presenting, even if everyone's allowed to have their hair in ponytail and eat dinner at the same time, you are presenting. And so are you finishing that conversation? Are you finishing, Elise, it was so great to meet you. Ladies, it was so wonderful to meet you. And hey, just to let you know, I'm expanding my business right now, and I am looking to get on more stages. And so if anyone knows of someone who's a podcast host in these categories, and you'll know your categories because we've done some avatar, but at the very least, you should know at least 3 categories that your business is landing in, even if it's women in business, is one of them. Does anyone know of any stages? I'd be so open to having that referral. That's even an ask. It doesn't have to be buy my lipstick or buy my new sunglasses or whatever. And then you can mix that ask up. But when you go in your verbiage, you should be concluding with not only thank you and hey, ladies, by the way, or hey, any kind of request. Now, doesn't always have to be you asking for something, but it also can be you offering something, but some kind of ask. So tweaking your verbiage, I spent $40,000 to $50,000 practicing verbiage at different trade shows. And during that process, I got to number 1. I got the highest level of trip. I got the highest sales per month because I was practicing my verbiage to the point where it was seamless. And then I would train people. I go, say this. They'd say this, but a little, I said, no. I said, say this. I'm like, you want to walk across the stage and you want to they're like, yes. I go, just say this. And when they just said this, because I'd already done the work, they were like, oh my gosh, they were in sensation. So practice your verbiage. Go listen to people that are successful and hear how they talk.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And it's making it about them, right? The audience. It's what's important to them to hear in your introduction. And how is that going to be able to, help you as well? Just like you said, of having that ask at the end. So I love it. Well, good. So any last thought on, a golden tip that the audience can really implement into their business when it comes to making 2023 absolutely sensational?
Well, I can't emphasize enough. I talked a little bit about it, about really doing a deep dive in your avatar. Everything starts there. And it's okay if you've been in business for 10 years. There's different things that you can find out about your avatar that's going to make you just better. You think about top performance. You've had some level of performance for sure. You've had some success for sure. Top performance just reverse engineers that whole process so much quicker because you're nailing it day after day after day. Your system. So I can't emphasize enough about doing a deep dive on avatar. The other thing is looking, I do a class, and again, I'll offer it as a gift on innovative marketing. If you are chasing the marketing, meaning my girlfriend does really well on TikTok, I should go there. Oh, wow, everyone says I should be Instagram, I should go there. Or oh, I should do trade shows because Deb hit number 1 on trade shows, I should go there. You know what I mean? Like from an innovative marketing, there are so many different ways to market that you probably haven't even thought of. So here's a tip, here's a free tip, from someone who has a podcast that There's a lot of podcasts that are great. Some are, gifted like this, and some you're going to pay for. But here's something that people don't do enough of. And I teach this in an innovative marketing class is we get together, and instead of getting together for lunch, get together on each other's Facebook, get together on each other's Instagram, have someone bring you on. You can edify each other and both just share something. When you have a double Facebook Live or a double Instagram Live, it gets a lot more attention. And so it gives you also good practice of verbiage. It's a great place to practice verbiage, but get onto each other's Facebooks and Instagram. That is actually a new thing. I mean, social media is not new. Lives aren't new anymore. Reels aren't new anymore. But when you have to think of what can make me stand out, there's a whole list of things, but that's something that people can do right now, like yesterday. And you're going to have fun. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe. Share something about each other, share something about what you do for a living, and give someone a tip, and you're good to go.
Yes, I always call it like virtual stage swapping, right? Like you can do that absolutely in like podcasts, but it doesn't even have to be that formal. It can just be a quick little 5-minute video, just like you were talking about. So golden. So really what I'm hearing you say from that frustration to sensation for 2023 is getting clear on your divine client is what we call our avatar, right? Is your divine client. Who is God asking you and calling you to serve? And then making those tweaks along the way, especially in your verbiage of how you're introducing yourself and how you're really making that impact with that person. And I completely agree with you. It definitely starts at that foundation of divine client first and understanding who that person is, because everything else in your programs and your offerings and your marketing, it all hinges on that. So I think that's golden. Thank you so much, Deb. So you do have an awesome free gift for us. So tell me more about that and where people can find you if they want to know more.
Okay, so, well, I'm not difficult to find. It's debdrummond.com. There's a website with a plethora of, different things that people can look at, from speaking and teaching and books and what have you. I'm at debdrummond.com. So either one, deb@debdrummond.com or debdrummond.com. And I have 3 gifts. So for people that love to read, they actually love that book. My media company, we produce a book every year that supports women in the direct sales, network marketing, relationship marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it, direct sales sector and industry. And these, the last book that I did was women and couples. So interesting. And short stories of how they actually made it to 6 figures and sustained. That's a big deal. Hitting 6 figures and sustaining. Now, these are beautiful stories. You don't have to be in the direct sales industry to take the nuggets of someone in a certain sector. So if someone would like that book as a gift, absolutely, we will send them the hard copy. If you want to learn about innovative marketing, I have 2 classes. I have an innovative marketing. It's a full hour of different ways that you can do marketing in a way that's innovative and new and easy. And I teach you why and how, like straight up. There's no, I don't hold anything back. Then the other one is the follow-up class. So I go through not only that step of follow-up, but I tell you how to speak, teach you a little bit more on verbiage, what to say when you're making that 3rd or 4th call, how to form your texts and things so that you just have a higher ratio of success, right? It's even can go as far as how to create a verbiage of a birthday message on Facebook that will get people sending you a message back saying, wow, I got the people, wow, no one has ever said that to me. Compared to, hey, happy birthday, or da 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 da, right? So there's 2 classes that people can attend, and then if they'd like a book, then they can have one.
Beautiful. And they just email you or go to your
website? They just email me. And if they go to the website, they can go to contact and it'll get to me as well. And I have no issue. I believe I put my phone number on my website for a reason, to just be available. So
awesome. So that's deb@debdrummond.com, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, go check out her amazing free gifts for sure. And if you want more tips on how to grow your business in the Lord's way over the world's way, then come join us in our free Facebook group called Faithful Ladypreneurs, where we're going to pour into things just like this to be able to help you to really grow your business the way that God is intending you to do so. And if you want to check out more about how we can help you to do that, go to divinelydrivenresults.com. Thanks so much, Deb. This has been amazing to have you on the show today.
Thanks, my dear. Thanks, my dear.
Awesome.